What's going on, guys, and welcome to a rather silly race car build today on Gran Turismo 6. So we're used to having, sports cars, sedans, hatchbacks, things like that on these race car builds. However, today we have got an SUV, the Range Rover Evoque. I thought I'd do this vehicle because it's just a little bit silly, isn't it? I mean, it's not the sort of thing that you would see racing around. Really? Well, I wouldn't anyway. So yeah, I thought I'd check it out, see how it would do. Now, I didn't really have too high of hopes for this car. Well, SUV. It's still a car, I suppose. Because it's a big thing. It's wide, and it's just a very big car. However, the statistics were actually filling me with a little bit of confidence. This thing has now got 561 brake horsepower, which for this series is quite a lot. I mean, we're usually seeing cars around, on average, probably the low 500s. Well, this is 561, so this is one of the more powerful cars. Not the most powerful car we've seen, but it does have good power for a car in this series. And surprisingly, it only weighs 1,313 kilograms, which is once again not the heaviest car that we've had. We've had quite a bit heavier cars. We haven't had anything above 1,400, I don't think, but this is the low 1,300, so it isn't actually too bad. That means that the power to weight ratio is 2.34 kilograms per brake horsepower, which is actually quite a good power to weight ratio. I mean, it isn't one of the best we've seen, but it definitely isn't one of the worst we've seen. So all round, this car was actually, the statistics were actually looking fairly good for it, I will be honest. They were filling me with a bit of confidence. Obviously this thing is four-wheel drive, because, well, it is. We can't change the drivetrain. That is what it is, so it stays four-wheel drive. And yeah, it was actually a bit of a surprise. This car was a hell of a lot nicer to drive than I thought it was. Now, you can get caught out quite easily with this car. If you don't know, I only have 5 laps around Tsukuba with all my vehicles. Every vehicle gets only 5 laps, and whatever the best lap time, if it's a really good lap time or not. I mean, if it's a terrible lap time, I will sometimes try and do another one, but if it's a relatively good, stable lap time, then yeah, only 5. Most cars, hopefully, only 5, and this one did only have 5. Now, I didn't get the cleanest of laps with this because it is wide. It is definitely wider than a lot of the other cars I've had, but that is to be expected, so it is something a little bit different to get used to. You'll see a couple of times I will slightly overshoot corners and go onto the grass. You'll see it mostly on the last clip, actually. But it wasn't terrible. Actually, round the corners it was very good. We have seen some issues with four-wheel drive cars like the Audi TTS, where they just don't like going around the corners very much. But this is good. This is more like the R34 Skyline. It is fairly good around the corners, and in a straight line it is also relatively quick, 134 miles an hour down the straight, which is not bad for cars, definitely. I mean, the top sort of speed we've seen is like 138, so it is up there. So now I am going to show you the final lap in cockpit view so you can see this car and hear it and all that good stuff, so enjoy that. now go on to the lap times, and it actually does a pretty damn good job. It's currently in 9th place on the leaderboard, so inside the top 10 with a 55.686. That is definitely good. I mean, I was expecting this car to maybe be in the top, high 55s, more likely the low 56s, but this was actually really good. A 55.6 is actually really good for this car. I mean, it beats the Nissan Silvia S15 by 0.2 of a second, beats the Subaru BRZ by 0.3 of a second, and it's not even a 1/10 of a second off the Carlton. And I mean, first place, it's only 0.9 of a second off first place, so it actually did really well. So yeah, I was happy with this car. It was very nice to drive. All around pretty decent car for what it is. A little bit silly, a little bit different, but I actually really enjoyed driving this car. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Also comment what other cars you want to see me do a race car build on. I'll see you guys in the next video.